Nowadays, we are all being exposed to environmental hazards at almost every point. There are various contributing factors to environmental hazards, and one of the current major areas is that of biological hazards. The effect of these particular hazards is enormous, leading to loss of human productivity and eventually leading to overload of the public health budget. At this point, there is a need for an integrated system which could act as a portable detection device, or PDD, for monitoring bioenvironmental threats such as bacteria or any other pathogens, and at the same time provide accurate, fast, low-cost, and real-time results. Over the past few years, we have developed a portable impedance-based biosensing system, which consists of interdigitated electrodes with surface functionalized biorecognition elements, an impedance measurement board, and developed interfacing software. This biosensor setup is easy to use, requires fewer reagents, operates with minimal human interaction, and delivers results with a targeted detection time of 20 minutes. Our device measures the impedance magnitude and phase over a range of frequencies. We have validated that such a biosensor can detect down to 5 CFU of E. coli. We are now further improving the detection limit of E. coli through the use of fluidics control, optimization of microfabrication, surface biochemistry, and experimental conditions. Overall, our system is highly implementable, effortless in use, and low cost.
Hello everyone, my name is Pei, and I'm a master student under the supervision of Dr. Shi Prasher in McGill University. My research is focusing on using the soil column, as you can see the column which is packed by the soil, to remove the E. coli from the lake water. And this setup has already been proved to be efficient to remove the E. coli from the lake water. However, I'm planning to use the biochar to see if it works better to remove the E. coli. As you know that especially in the developing countries where most of the water is contaminated by the high concentration of E. coli or maybe a lot of contaminants. So if this setup really works well and it is very cheap, like you can only need to find a PVC pipe and the sand is everywhere, you just pack it and it can easily move the E. coli. If it's really working well, that it will be very useful to deal with the water contaminants issues in the developed countries and also the developed countries. So I hope it's useful and my research can be applied to all of the world. Thank you.
So my name is Marcela Rojas and I'm a master's student at the University of McGill. I am currently working on developing models to understand the insect population dynamics in different agricultural systems. Since it is quite a complex problem that I'm trying to address, I am using techniques that were previously developed in the hydrological field. Indeed, the hydrological field has years of experience trying to solve complex issues related to water quality, water resources, and the water cycle. Water in itself, it's quite a complex issue because it has no boundaries. And since it has no boundaries, it is considered like a global good. And therefore, we need to learn how to work together so that we can solve that problem. And so I do believe that although it's a great challenge, I think it's also a great opportunity for us as citizens of the planet to learn how to work together regardless of our nationalities and where we live, to learn without boundaries.
Hello everyone, I'm April, and my research is about the influence of contaminants in the wastewater to the plants. And the contaminants we're focusing on are heavy metals and nanoparticles. These two kinds of contaminants both exist in the environment and the irrigation water. They are both very detrimental to the environment, especially the plants and our own health. So we would wonder what kind of influence these two contaminants would do to the plants. And we also believe that these two contaminants could somehow interact with each other. So we'd like to see what would happen if we irrigate plants with these two kinds of contaminants. It's very important to find out the solution to this, because this would help us to know better and help to solve this problem. Thank you.
Hello, I am Ali Mayouf. I am PhD student in McGill University, Department of Bioresource Engineering. I am doing my PhD under the supervision of Prof. Chef Brasher. My project about safe using of wastewater in agriculture. We study different contaminants in wastewater. As we know, in wastewater using for agriculture in development country, we need to study if this different contaminant we have in our cocktail heavy metal, different heavy metal. Also we have organic contaminant, we have inorganic contaminant, we have hormones and pharmaceutical herbicide and antibiotic. We study in potato tuber, potato plant. We need to see if the plant uptake this contaminant. And also we have in lysimeter field, we have each lysimeter different depth, 10, 30 and 60 centimeter. We need to study transport this contaminant. We have a soil amendment. We're using biochar and compost. We need to see if this soil amendment can holding this contaminant or can reduce the plant uptake this contaminant and soil transport. In the end of season, we analyze all the plant parts. We analyze the leaf, stem, and also potato tuber and the root. Also, we analyze all soil depth to see if there is any plant, any soil transport. And this is second year for me, second season, and I found like interesting results from last year. We need to study more about this area. Also, we have another treatment. We using nanoparticle, titanium dioxide nanoparticle. We need to study the interaction between nanoparticle, titanium dioxide, and other contaminant like heavy metal and organic contaminant. Yeah, this is my PhD project, and thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Amanpreet Kaur and I'm a graduate research assistant at the Research Institute of McGill University Health Center. And today I'm going to talk about the effects of contaminated drinking water on cardiovascular health. Contaminated drinking water is already an established risk factor for many human ailments, including cognitive dysfunction, reproductive health disorders, and even cancer. But what's less known is the effect of this drinking water on the cardiovascular health. Surprisingly, the presence of these heavy metals like lead in water is known to be linked with cardiovascular risk diseases like hypertension. And what's shocking is that up to 20% of lead poisoning in humans has been linked to presence of lead in the drinking water. Another example is presence of arsenic. And not everyone in the world can afford the treatments that are available in the developed countries. Therefore, what we need now is long-term and sustainable water treatment systems for a cleaner and a healthier future.
Water is a fundamental resource, and any research that is targeted towards water, I don't consider it as waste. I'm a researcher and I'm interested in water. I'm not trying to make water to be as clean as this for drinking, but I'm trying to make wastewater to be useful in agriculture. In developing countries, farmers, they use wastewater for irrigation, and it has been found that wastewater is beneficial in the sense that it contains nutrients. However, wastewater contains a lot of contaminants such as heavy metals and hormones. So in my research, I'm trying to see a way to encourage farmers to keep using wastewater, but in a safe way. So we are deploying soil amendments such as biochar that is produced from different agricultural waste. So we are trying to see how we can add them to soil and reduce the movement of contaminants in soil. And so far, our result is going fine. We see that the biochar, they are working and they are reducing the movement of contaminants. For 2 years now, we have seen it working. The biochar got activated in soil and performed better than the first year. Our whole aim is to ensure that the food that get to our table, they become contaminant free. So as a researcher at McGill University, my whole goal is to ensure that the water that you use for your irrigation will not become a problem to the food that we eat. So what I'm saying is that when we save our water, we save our food, we save our soil, and we save the planet.
Hello, my name is Nishita. I am a PhD student in the Department of Agricultural Economics at Texas A&M University. My major field area is environmental and resource economics, and my dissertation pertains to better water resource management. Water resource management is extremely important, but it gains further importance in context of countries like India, where the impact of poor resource management is not limited to, say, poor agriculture or health outcomes. It has spilled over to increasing conflicts and social vices such as water wives, where men marry multiple women to fetch water, or rising farmer suicides. So it is very important that we focus on better water resource management now. Talking about my research, it focuses more on the demand side of management, because I believe supplies are limited and it is time we manage demand better than focusing on increasing supplies. Part of my research looks at how we can use market mechanism to better allocate demand, and other part of it is more behavioral in nature, which looks at how we can tweak consumer behavior and help them understand that water is scarce and make them use water sustainably. I believe it is important to make consumers aware about all the research that's happening around water resources, so that it helps them understand, because they are the end users, and if they understand that water is scarce and it is important for them to use it in a certain way, it will help not only the researchers but also the consumers at the end of it. So yes, it is really important that we focus on increasing resources in better water management that will help us secure good supply, not only for the present generation but for the generations to come. So thank you very much. If there is anything you would like to reach out to me for, my email ID is nishita.sinha@tamu.edu, and I hope you enjoy the workshop.
सत श्री अकाल, मेरा नाम जूलियन मलाक है ते मेरी खोज मध्य अमेरिका दी ग्वाटेमाला देश विच कर रहा। आम तौर ते पानी दी प्रबंधन विच हिस्सेदारां दी भारीदारी बहुत घट है ते जे लोग फैसला ले रहे हैं उन लोग नहीं हैं जे उत्ते रहिंदे हैं ते जिन्नू उत्ते दी पानी दी जरूरत है। उहदे लई सारी खोज विच असीं हिस्सेदारां कोल आदर्श ਅਸੀਂ ਹਿੱਸੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਹਿੱਸੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਹਿੱਸੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੋਸ਼ ਤੋਂ ਹਿੱਸੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਭਾਗੀਦਾਰੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਤੇ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਲੈ ਸਕਾਂ।